Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our uranium daily technical analysis update, and I'll let you know what I think, give you my financial opinion. Again, it's just my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. Here we go. I'm looking at the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, and I wasn't really watching this throughout the day. I don't like these big candlesticks, guys. I don't like them. It's a opening price here and a closing price way down here. It finished quite strong to the downside. This could have more downside in it. We do have support underneath it. So hopefully this support will catch us and we bounce off of it. But this is a strong sell-off day. And we did sell off and close quite strongly. That did manifest itself in URNM going lower. Much to my, it's not to our surprise. This is a dark cloud cover, which means that the opening and closing price is covering the top of the last candlestick. It's a reversal candlestick lower. I suspected that we were going to head lower, but now the question is, do we have the support down here to keep it above it? So we're going to have to wait and see what that looks like tomorrow and see if this has the momentum behind it to break to the downside. It would be nice to look at some of the other sectors, and maybe I'll do an overall market update for tomorrow on what that looks like to see if the overall market's ready to roll over, because this could drag down the uranium sector as well if a whole bunch of stocks are selling off. From a big picture view, this could head a little bit lower. It very well could. I think we're getting close to a bottom. Let me draw this a certain way, guys. If I draw it from the bottom here, and I draw this, we could even come to where this is at, even down here. And then I'm going to move this 7 down here, where this is a broadening wedge pattern, and then we break to the upside eventually. So this could hit, maybe 55 down here or something like that, is a potential. Looking at Bannerman, let's get to the daily candlesticks here. Looks like it was down. Looks like almost everything was down today for uranium. So this is I would say, kind of almost a little thing that a continuation pattern, and it is heading lower. We did not turn and hold support. So we could go lower. The sellers are winning here, guys. The sellers are winning. GVXXF, Goviax. I've got a lower move here. We'll see if this support line holds. I'm hoping this support line holds, and then we can bounce off of it. Will it hold? We'll find out tomorrow what candlestick it throws. Global Atomic, getting a little bit of a sell-off today. We have broken the downtrend line on the very short term, so we could do a return move and then eventually head higher. It's a very steep trend line, though. Forces, may the forces be with us, but the forces has escaped us. A little bit more selling pressure today. The volume's really low. It's not like we're just blowing through the sellers here. But this is what it looks like on a long term. We are below this support line here, and it is getting sold off and has closed strongly to the downside. Purepoint Uranium, I threw this little pattern in here. It looks like we're still in it. We'll see what happens. Deep Yellow, sell-off today, 6.84% lower, but we're still at some good support underneath it. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings us. Paladin Energy putting in a big hammer pattern. The support's holding. It did gap lower, but then the buyers bought it back up. So that's a good sign to see buyers step in and buy it back up. Sky Harbor putting in a bearish engulfing. Man, we are literally getting slapped back and forth between the buyers and sellers in some of these spots. What I see here is whenever we get into this range in here, sellers just rip it. And then whenever we get into this range down here, buyers buy it. So we're stuck between these lines going back and forth between those two areas. That's why we have a bearish engulfing here, a bearish engulfing piercing, bearish piercing here, bearish engulfing here. Then we've got these big wicks on the bottom where the buyers buy it all back up. So we're coming to a decision point soon where this thing is going to hopefully spill the sauce in one direction. And I think it's going to go up with the higher lows coming in. We just can't break through this strong selling pressure, which is all in this range up here. There's a bunch of sellers up there. We just hit our head on it, hit our head on it, hit our head on it. It's like, come on, guys. So that's Sky Harbor there. NXE, Next Gen Energy. This one still looks okay. We've got, I drew this down like we're coming down today. We've got bigger buying pressure than the selling pressure. If that can hold on and we can just get a little, a turning point candlestick right here tomorrow, we could maybe launch from this. But I'm going to remain neutral at this time. I did buy on this day here, not Next Gen Energy, but just in overall. We come into the double bottom, and then usually what we need to see is bigger buying pressure and smaller selling pressure. This setup still looks good to move higher. CVVUF getting a little bit more selling pressure and closing quite strong, a little bit more volume. I would say that this one doesn't look as good. We're getting kind of a mixed bag, and this could head lower. Maybe the overall market dragged this thing lower for the day today. Tough to say. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings us. Looking at Baseload Energy, I've got the nice reversal hammer candlestick pattern. We've got 3 candlesticks. Opening and closing prices are contracting lower. So I think we're coming to a spot where we could potentially turn. We need to hold this area down here at about 50 cents. I don't want to see a blow and a break through this. We want to see this turn back up. That's why I thought we were going to come back lower and then eventually head higher. So here's our coming back lower. Now we need the buyers to step in and show us that they exist and that they're there to push it on up. More buying pressure, I should say. Fission 3.0 doesn't look too bad. What we did is we're coming into a point where we're kind of equaling the buyers and sellers. We're contracting the opening and closing prices as well. Usually that means that we're coming to a stopping point where we could potentially turn and head on up. And hopefully that happens. Fission 3.0, we had a bearish engulfing, so this headed lower. That's what I had yesterday. We came up, we came into this, we headed lower. Now we have to see if the buyers step in here to push on up, if to go this way. I don't know if that's going to happen. We headed lower today. We got to see that turning candlestick point tomorrow if we're going to go higher. So this one, we did head lower today, minus 3.53. Now we got to see what the next move is. We've got 3 big up days, 2 smaller down days. If we can hold here, we can maybe turn it and move it on up. But we got to see what tomorrow brings us. Kazakhstan Prom heading lower. This usually resolves lower. I don't see any reversal candlestick saying we want to move up yet. But it was right where I drew my down arrow. Peninsula Energy, yeah, we went a little bit lower to flat. That's right at support on the short term. And that's what we're looking at. We're right on the support line. Boss Energy, again, we're right at support. We kind of did a little return move here to the support area. There's a lot of selling pressure in here, guys. Hopefully we can hold in here. And you'll kind of see this kind of bounce out a little bit. Lotus Resources, sell off today. Man, this is getting a little bit of a sell-off. We could head lower here. We've got support. I mean, what I see here is kind of, you got a break there, broke that, and ran. Coming through, pulling back. I mean, I think we're going to, this almost looks like an ABC correction. So you get through here, it pulls back, comes up, and then we kind of finish. I don't know where this is going to finish, somewhere in here. And then I think we'll take off. We're putting in that last kind of correction. Uranium Royalty Corporation, I said we were going to head lower today. We headed lower. Now we got to see if the buying pressure down here can hold. See, that's where we got the wick that comes up. We got the wick here. Got these 2 wicks. And that means that we came in, buyers bought it back up. Buyers bought it back up. Buyers bought it back up. So what I'm doing when I notice things like this is I like to put buy orders in like 276 and 284 or 85 or whatever. Put them down here and see if they can fill and see if we can get a good bounce. Encore Energy, a little bit of a down day today, ENCUF. Encore's an American company, Bill Sheriff. We've got good support here. It did bounce off the support. I drew that we were going to have a down day today, and we could potentially bounce higher here in the short term with this bounce off support. A little bit of a pullback. We'll see where we go tomorrow. I've got this thing kind of coming down like that. It looks like things are playing out kind of how I thought. Good support down here, a little bit of resistance up here. We sold off a little bit today. We're still between those two lines, bouncing sideways. UEC, I think we got a little bit more selling pressure before we hit some buying support down here. And that's what I think is going to potentially happen. A little bit of a work off of this momentum lower, and then an eventual move higher. I mean, it could go a little bit longer sideways than what I've drawn, but LEU, a little bit more of a sell-off today. A little bit stronger sell-off. We still got support and underneath where this blue line is, so we'll see if we tap it again. LTBR, yeah, we got a little bit of a sell-off today, just like I thought, and we'll see if we can reverse it here in the short term. ISO Energy, right at support. Let's see if it holds. We got a nice wick at the bottom and some volume. So someone's getting excited about the stock being down here. Appia Energy, APAAF. Yeah, a little bit of a pullback, and we're moving sideways. It's holding its ground. Denison Mines, we had a bearish engulfing yesterday. We sold off. And what I'm looking for is support in this area down here. Let's see if it holds. Blue Sky Uranium getting a little more of a sell-off. Again, we've got nice support all through here. Every time it hits down here, we buy it, it gets bought back up. Is the sellers working off the buyers to go lower, or are we going to bounce this thing higher? That's the question that everybody's asking. No clear direction for Forum. I mean, obviously it was down, but we're just moving sideways, bouncing back and forth with it. AEC, Anfield Energy, down a little bit, but we're still above the support area. Laramide selling off. I think we've got good support down here. We'll see if we hit it and bounce. That's what I'm looking for, this bounce here. Western Uranium. Western Uranium, yeah, I think we're still in a pullback mode with this squeeze up here. UEXCF. Looking at this guy here, we've got good support down here. Let's see if it holds. We're going to test it tomorrow. And then Mega Uranium, yeah, we had a sell-off today. That's what this here is a bearish engulfing pattern, which means you're going to head lower. So we headed lower, and guys, this is very short term. We're right at support, so we'll see if the support holds. But this is squeezing up, and the sellers and buyers are literally attacking each other in this corner. They're just getting slapped around like no other. So that's what I've got for today, guys. That's, we've got some sell-off. We got to see if the support holds. We had a lot of sellers in the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. So we'll see what happens. I got the kids going crazy here right now. They're kind of playing. But we'll see where this thing heads, guys. I want to see tomorrow and see which way the market goes. If it's a big sell-off and we break through those support lines and levels, we're heading lower, unfortunately. If we hold and we can get a good bounce here, the buyers have to step in and blow this thing higher. Yields, 10-year yields are going up. Energy has been robust in the oil sector. Natural gas was weak. And what I think it's trading to is more of natural gas than oil. Perhaps. Natural gas is establishing itself as an electricity producer. So I think that these two, the fuel of natural gas and uranium, could correlate quite well going forward. If you guys like this content, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.